From KMUW Wichita.
From Toronto, Ontario.
And from Armilla, Spain.
This is You're Saying It Wrong. Let's talk words. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Ross. I am finally experiencing spring allergies here. We had a whole bunch of wind for a week or so, and it kicked up a bunch of stuff. Then a couple of thunderstorms, so everything's really growing. Hey, I'm sure you can't hear this, so I thought I'd just explain to you.
No idea what you're talking about, Fletcher. No idea.
I feel like I'm I don't know, got my head in a fishbowl or something. We have some listener emails to jump off with. Before we do that, something we have been remiss about is, can I say that? Remiss about?
Yes.
Something we haven't done that we should have done a while back, me particularly, is to say hi and welcome to our listeners on KMXT in Kodiak, Alaska. How about that? They've been with us for a couple of months now, and so I really apologize for not saying hi to you all. But we're happy to have you with us all the way up there in Alaska. Thanks for joining us.
My mother-in-law is in Alaska, but not in
Is that right?
Yeah, she's in Cloak.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hi to your mother-in-law. Maybe somehow listening on KMXT. Anyway, thank you very much. We had a listener email that brought up a couple of different issues that you guys wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm, we did. But before we start, can I say something that really hit me the other day? I was going on a site for it was some linguistic thing, and it did the standard, are you a robot? And I had to click no, and I thought, who would have ever thought that I would commonly hear the words or write the words, are you a robot? And very common, I didn't even think about it. No, I'm not a robot. But I mean, like, when you think about it, before the internet age, I never would have predicted those words would ever be written or said to me. And I calmly went, no, I'm not a robot, and then went on to the thing. And I thought, I know I'm not a robot. Don't you,
Don't you always have this perverse thing? I wish they had a yes. You go, yes, I'm a robot. Don't you? I always have that. It's just like, it's not there.
Well, if you were a robot, don't you think that you would say no? No, yeah. I'm not a robot. So how useful is that really?
Yeah, you're right.
Good point.
Yeah, because the robot. It's true. Because if you are a robot, you still want to get on. Yeah.
I'm gonna notice you guys a little more closely right now. And see
actually, those questions are. I mean, they're done. I mean, they're obviously place fillers because there's also a wine online that I look at, and it says, please certify that you're over 18, and I go, yeah, but
yeah, sure.
How do they know?
Oh, they've got ways, Ross. Trust me.
Yeah.
Anywho, we got the email we're responding to was New York Tim, aka as he calls himself now, the OT, the original Tim, right, to differentiate himself from those other Tims. And there were two things he brought up that we just wanted to comment on because way back a while ago we did the euphemisms, and he said euphemisms for bathroom. He said, I don't think you mentioned my favorite. We did not. Privy. But you can only use it in high-class places like a yacht club. My dear sir, would you be so good as to indicate to me the location of the privies? So Ross and I were like, yeah, we didn't talk about privies.
I know.
Which is shocking.
And I didn't, funny. And it was funny because I'm always, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay, I didn't know the origin. I never really thought about it. I don't think it's really used that much anyway now, but I never thought about the origin. And Fletcher, let's see, can you guess what the origin is?
No, I always thought it had something to do with private. Like
it
was just oh, okay.
You got it. I never thought of that. I guess I'm really, did you, Kathy? No, Kath didn't either. We both
No, I did not. I just thought privy.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And it comes from the Latin privatus, which means private. Personal.
Private. Yeah. Did you get any other emails? I got at least one other email about privy.
No, we didn't get that other one. We were not emailed on privy.
Yes, someone who did not seem to leave their name said it reminded, when we were talking about toilets, it reminded them of a book called How to Build the Perfect Privy. And I feel like I got another one, but I can't find the other email. So if somebody else emailed me about privies, then I apologize.
We did get another, and I don't know what I did with it since I'm supposed to be doing things with them. And I'm sorry too. Uh-oh, I forgot all about it. I think it was the other week. Anyway, never mind. But it was a great email. I just want to tell you
That's
that,
right.
stranger.
Yeah.
What got me with privy is I only think of it as like the toilet thing, but then I also thought, I'm not privy to this, and I never thought of that as being the same word as the privy. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
To me, in my mind, they're not related at all, but are they?
I know.
I don't know if I've ever thought of those two as the same word either.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
And then there's also the Privy Council, which got me. I used to read that in history, which was specifically the British government having like this sort of secret council and stuff, which is also weird because I never thought of that, but that makes sense too. It's private council.
So then you're basically saying, when you're saying I'm going to the privy, you're saying I'm going to like the private area.
Yeah, exactly.
Things happen.
I know, but that's really interesting. I wonder when not privy to this came into because that's commonly used.
I'm not privy to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the origin of that because that would be, no, they don't have they just tell us.
I also didn't know that privy member was an organ of sex, and I'm assuming the one is male, but I don't know. But I'd never heard that. But that's in the late 13th century, and that was when they were all being like really, ribald and so forth.
But privy as an adjective comes from the 1300s, they're saying, which I didn't really realize. That's really interesting. Not privy to this is that old. I didn't realize that at all. But I would use not privy to this more commonly. I would not use privy as going to the bathroom. That's one interesting thing, I think.
Yeah.
I say the bathroom.
Yeah, of course. Probably why we didn't bring it up in the first place. But once a couple people did, obviously that's something that we hear. I want to mention another email I got from Ellen, who the second part of the email is probably more interesting, but she did ask why men started saying, "I need to see a man about a dog," when they needed to go to the
bathroom. I have no idea. Now I have to.
Does it make any sense whatsoever?
I thought it was I need to hear. I always heard it as I need to see a man about a horse.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah. I've heard it both ways. Yeah.
Well, I could give you the answer right now. The earliest confirmed publication is the 1866 play Flying Scud, in which a character knowingly...
Wait a minute, Flying what?
Scud, S-C-U-D, in which a character knowingly breezes past a difficult situation saying, "Excuse me, Mr. Quill, I can't stop. I've got to see a man about a dog." And then it was commonly used, what Kathy said, during Prohibition to refer to the consumption or purchase of alcoholic beverages.
Oh.
Then Cary Grant, and I've watched Bringing Up, there we go again. I've watched Bringing Up Baby, I don't know how many times. Cary Grant says it.
Yeah. That's why I knew it as a horse, not a dog, right?
Let's see. They're saying here.
Well, anyway, I like Ellen. Ellen, you're giving us a lot of fun right now.
She actually had a second part to her email. She mentioned something that her mother used to say. She said her mother grew up in rural central Nebraska in the 1930s, and when she was like surprised or annoyed or something, people would typically say something like, "I swear." Well, her mom wasn't apparently even allowed to say "I swear." She would say "I swan," S-W-A-N.
Yeah,
wow.
That's so.
You've heard that?
Yeah, I always heard it as Southern though, like "I swan." Yeah. That's that's a horrible Southern accent. I apologize to you from the South.
She says, Ellen says she looked it up, and it's something you hear pretty much only in the Midwest. This is not something that I've ever heard.
Interesting. I have.
Actually, I've heard here, I'm looking it up. I've heard it also, it's attributed to Appalachian, Southwestern, as well as Southern U.S.
Appalachian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I always say Appalachian, and I know.
I know.
But it's also in a thing, it's a Southern thing. Colorful Southern phrases in their origins. So it does seem to be.
Because Nebraska, obviously, not Southern.
No, that's interesting. They say here, what I'm looking at says it likely originated from the dialectical phrase "I shall warrant,"
That seems dubious to me.
which was "I swanny, then I swan."
Yeah, I don't know. That one really seems a lot to me, doesn't it? Really?
I don't know.
Seems like one of those like sort of posh being poured
everything
out.
Everything I'm seeing says that I shall warrant, I swar, I swan.
I see that originally from Northern English or Scottish expression, I shall warrant ye. I don't know, maybe it is. And then spoken quickly, maybe. I shall warrant ye, I swear ye, swan.
Why is this guy drunk that's saying this?
He's going to get a dog like the other thing. I don't know. That bothers me, but who knows?
I want to look more into it. Ellen, thank you. I want to keep checking now. That fascinates me. Really does. Okay, part 2 of the OT's email is, he said that he loved the eponym silhouette. You know what a silhouette is, which we were actually going to talk about, but we ran out of time. That's why we did not.
Okay.
But he was saying how the word silhouette was derived from the name of Etienne de Silhouette, a French finance minister who in 1759 was forced by France's credit crisis to impose severe economic demands upon the French people, particularly the wealthy. So his name, because it was so austere, became synonymous with doing anything cheaply. So those outline cutouts, a silhouette, was a cheap way of doing an appearance. So you didn't get a real portrait, but you got like the outline of your head.
Wow. But we did a little digging, and that may be true, but it could just be. The other people say, well, it's just because he was briefly in office, and therefore, in that brief tenure, he decorated a chateau with these portraits, so they just picked it up because of that, which is a little more dull. But that probably makes sense too. And it was cheap, a cheap way to make a likeness of someone. So then maybe they're talking about him being like a petty, petty economies that he was using. He wasn't really like listening to the nobles who wanted to spend big money. Who knows really? There's a lot of debate about this.
Yeah.
I don't really think about silhouettes anymore. I mean, as an art thing.
It's funny because I got an old book from the 1800s, early 1800s, and in there was this really cool silhouette, and I never really liked them until I saw that. They're really kind of cool, and they're really detailed, a lot of them. They're really beautiful.
I just remember them as kids. Some kids I knew had a couple that their parents, I guess, had paid for of them.
Well, do you remember those kids' books we used to read, the biographies? They all had silhouettes in them. Do you remember those?
Yeah. I do remember them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but also silhouette, apparently, I didn't know this. It's apparently a Basque name, which I did not realize. Which is really interesting, because Basque is like this weird, mysterious language from, Southern Europe, north of Cathy in Spain in particular. And the name would have been really originally something like Zuleta, which is interesting.
Oh, okay.
And it means hole. Zulo means hole, which is not cave, which is a possibility.
The Basque is odd because they have a lot of X's that always throw me.
But is the X
it's pronounced... It's pronounced ch. It's a ch.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Because like we get pinchos is like a tapa where it's like on a skewer thing, and a pincho in Basque area or closer to there is a pinksto. It's spelled, and when we first were traveling, we're like, what's a pinksto?
Oh, that's interesting.
It's very strange.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyway. And now I'm going to wax philosophical for 2 seconds. This was the thing.
Lovely.
I told Ross about. I saw online the phrase, I'm going to wane philosophical. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And I was like, I want to find out more. Whoever that person was, I applaud you. I just thought, this is great. I did.
So what would that be? Waning philosophical? Would that be
getting away from it?
Yeah, making things more practical and
yeah.
You're basically saying like, to hell with that, like uppity,
Yeah, but it is interesting. But it is interesting though, because we don't ever say that we never say I'm going to wane this or that. We say wax definitely, but we don't do the opposite, which I thought was interesting.
You wax poetic.
Yeah, you don't wane poetic and get into prose or something, you know.
Well, that's what that started the whole thing. I was telling Rose, I started looking up at like, where did wax come from? Because I mean, I know it's the moon. The moon waxes and wanes.
Sure.
But like, why? Like, it used to mean apparently just to grow or increase. You didn't use it only with the moon. But then I looked up, and this surprised me. It was a list of how the most common in order of frequency words with wax. Wax eloquent was number one in contemporary American, which I didn't think. Wax enthusiastic.
What?
That
Really?
I've heard.
I haven't.
That I have, but go on.
Wax euphoric. I've never heard that.
Never heard that.
I don't know that I've heard any of these.
Wax indignant. These now are in order. Wax lyrical, I have heard.
It sounds
Not
like
often,
these are in
but I've heard that.
It sounds like these are in alphabetical order to me.
They are, but they. Oh my God,
Kathy, yes, they are.
Okay. Well, the other ones in no particular order, except for alphabetical, were wax nostalgic, wax philosophical, wax poetic, wax professional. I've never heard. Wax rhapsodic, and wax sentimental.
You know, really, wax philosophical and wax poetic are the only two that I really ever hear.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Same with me.
What interested me, though, is the verb comes from to grow bigger or greater. Wax, it comes from an early Proto-Indo-European word, Proto-Germanic, and then from there earlier even to that. And there is an English word that is related to wax that you would not guess. Can you guess it? Let's see. I don't think you will, but I'm just asking you.
Probably would not.
There are probably others as well, but this one just popped into my head, and I realized, my gosh, as we were talking, I thought it must be related, and it is.
No. Tell us.
Okay, augment.
Augment, really?
Yep, because
obviously that the meaning I understand.
Yeah. But how does that?
Well, the wax goes back to Proto-Indo-European, the very early language our great ancestors of most Europeans have, and the word was aug or oweg, like that. And then in Greek, the W fell off and it became auxane, which is in ancient Greek is to augment. And then it came into English as augment from Latin. So it's related. And then wach became wax in the other part of the breakdown. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
It's confusing too.
Well, we start with aug weg.
No, I understand, Ross. I'm just saying.
And then go on. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just blown away a little bit.
No, but what gets you with all these things is like the Sanskrit it's related to is Vaksayati or Vaksayati. And it's just weird how like they can trace these words back. And like, if you told me Vaksayati, would you go, is that related to wax or to augment? I'd go, no, obviously not. But it is.
Yeah.
I just have to throw in, because I get a chance to like quote Groucho. So when we did our list of waxing, there was also, which I found, waxing wroth, which you don't see at all anymore, but that was to grow irate. And in Horse Feathers, Groucho is the college president, and someone runs to him and says, the dean is furious, he's waxing wroth. And Groucho says, is Roth out there too? Tell Roth to wax the dean. I had to do that. I'm very sorry. I bow before Groucho at all times.
Okay, and now, Fletcher, we have a really fun little pronunciation quiz.
Which we haven't done for a while.
No.
Yeah.
And these are going to kill you. These are in a language. These are in a language that comes from the UK, but it's not English. It's a place called Wales, and the language is Welsh.
Oh God. Okay.
And we're gonna ask
I don't think we should have told him, Russ. I think we should have just given him the first word.
I think he would see it instantly and know it.
Yeah, but I just like cheating on people.
I'd probably recognize that it was Welsh pretty quickly, but I'm actually glad we're doing this because I've never had any idea how to say most Welsh things.
Okay, we're going to give you a little quiz. We're going to ask you the first word. Then we're going to give you some rules, and then you can spell out the next words, and you're going to get them all right, we're sure.
Okay. All right. Great.
Okay. Okay.
There we go. Oh, good God.
We gave you a short one to start.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you know anything about Welsh, and you don't have to know much, but if you know anything, you know that most of these words are just made of W's and L's. That's not completely true, but there's a lot of W's here. Mm-hmm. The first word is CWM, and clearly I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going to say it's something like coim.
Not bad. It's usually more like coom.
Coom. I don't know why I always imagined the W was like an oi sound.
The W is actually, okay, we're going to give you now some rules before we ask you the others, okay?
Okay.
Do you want me to paste them in for you? I think maybe we should, Ross. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
The rules?
Yes, these are rules, and you can go back to the other words. We're just giving you like a few pronunciation rules.
Yeah, why don't you read them aloud, Fletcher, so we can see it? Oh, one thing I was going to quickly say, Cumberland, the place name comes from Coombe with that.
Oh, okay.
Which is sort of cool. I mean, it's an old Welsh, because we have Cumberlands in Canada. I think we probably have them in the States too. But it comes from the old Welsh. Okay, here are the rules. Why don't you read them out, Fletcher? We can.
Okay, sure. W, as we just learned, is often an oo sound, as in CWTCH, which I guess would be cooch.
Yes.
That's not.
Okay.
But it's more, I think it's more coot, like something like that.
Coot?
Yeah.
Well, which we're about to learn, because CH is a guttural sound, as in the Scottish loch.
Right.
So
that was nicely done.
CWTCH might be more like coot.
I'm looking it up now. That's an interesting, Kath. We should have checked that one. Because Kathy and I we're not fluent Welsh speakers yet.
We should, apologies to people who actually know Welsh. We're all doing our best here. The letter U is often an E sound, EE sound, as in SUT, which I guess would be seat. The double D, DD, is a TH sound. That I might have known. Although, that's interesting, because we have a name like Lloyd, right?
I'm wondering, though, if that's because it ends the name, though. I wonder if the double D at the end is different. I'm going to check. I'm curious.
Oh, wait. Lloyd doesn't. Now that I say that, it has the double L. Does it have a double D?
That's a double L. The double L has a different sound. Yeah. I'm going to add one thing. This is like the cooch would be cooch, not kook or whatever we did. Okay. It would have a CH sound at the end. We've just learned something here, gang. Okay.
Okay. All right. And then LL, like we begin with Lloyd, is a distinct lateral sound created by placing the tongue behind the top teeth and blowing air out the sides.
Yes,
so
try it, Fletcher.
Like.
Yes, good.
Lloyd.
Good.
Is that how you'd say it?
I was listening to a wonderful a wonderful Welsh woman showing you how to pronounce it. And Fletcher did a really good job. I mean, it sounded a lot like she was saying it. She also said you could also try sugar, but like don't say the sh part, but put your tongue where you're about to say sugar and then instead blow out on the sides.
Say Lloyd.
Yeah.
Lloyd. That didn't work. I sound like Snagglepuss. It didn't work for me.
The letter Y. The letter Y at the beginning or in the middle of a word in Welsh is usually pronounced like a schwa sound, like the unstressed, as in above or about. I don't know about. As in above. Examples include the word YN, which is in.
Yeah.
Or what? YR? Oh,
that
which means the.
Yeah, I don't get the YR confuses me. And then
Oh, it just means
FY.
but it means
I
the.
think the translation is
The
what's
translation
incorrect.
is the.
I see.
So
This
YN would be more like
Un.
and
Yes.
YR would be
Yes.
and that translates to the. FY would be like f.
I guess. Yeah.
Well,
we're gonna get into trouble. There's gonna be some Welsh speaker on the next week.
They're
Who's
gonna
gonna
be
be
really
like,
mad at us.
you guys
He or
are
she is
massacring the
already
language.
furious
It's horrible.
with us.
We are.
Well,
I think
I
this
don't
is
know.
even. Go ahead.
Go on.
I was gonna say I think this might be even worse than when we did the Irish
I
pronunciations.
know. I'm worried.
We didn't put this in yet, just before we go into the next word, but we have F and FF. If you've noticed, a lot of times there's also the LL and there's also an FF. What do you know what the those would be
It's
or
down
not?
here. Oh.
No, I no, of course not. I just assumed that it was an F sound.
Okay, I didn't know this. FF is F.
FF is F,
V.
but regular F is
V.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Yeah, actually, don't we have other languages where the F is more V-ish?
Yeah, we do.
I can't think of any right now. Go on, Ross. I'm sorry.
But I'm trying to think of one too, though. I'm sure we do. We have more like the V as a W is more commonly the one we have usually that I always think of.
I just know as a kid, I loved the Lloyd Alexander books. They were based on Welsh mythology. And there was a bard, and his name was Fluter Flam. And I still reread those books. But as a kid, I just love Fluter Flam. The double F as a child, looking at it all the time, was just like, wow, this is just great.
Yeah.
Hey, incidentally,
I like those a lot too.
Incidentally, bard is actually a Welsh word, so it's very apropos. Yeah, it's from the Welsh.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay, let's get going, Fletcher. Let's do the next one. Pronounce it.
Okay. So now I'm going back to these words. I am going to do my best. I'll spell them out for people, even though it won't make a lot of sense unless you do know Welsh. The first one is BWLCHGWYN. All right, I'm gonna keep looking down at these rules while I try to do this. Let's see, the CH is a guttural sound, so sort of like Burgoyne. Burgoyne.
That's close. They have
close
here. They have here. It's Bulgwyn. Bulgwyn.
Gwyn. Yeah, I could see that. Okay,
Bulgwyn. It's the W-Y again, like Bala Sinwid.
Bulgwyn.
Gwyn. Yeah.
I do apologize to everybody for this.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably terrible to a native speaker, but we'll try. Let's move along here. Fletcher, the next word should be easy, and we can all agree on this one.
The next
it's
one,
also yes in Welsh.
Yes.
Oh, YDW. Right. So I guess it would be like ado.
Yes. Good.
Okay.
Nothing much ado here. Yep.
And finally, this is a fun word. It means fun or stirring mood. Yeah.
I like this one.
HWYL. Let's see. I don't see anything weird about H's, so I guess it would be something like hool.
Yes.
Hool.
Good. Hool.
HWYL. Because again, I'll say again, W is sort of like an oo, and the Y is sort of like a schwa. So hool. Hool.
They have huel here more.
Huel. Yeah.
That's
we're doing
good,
our best.
We're fine.
Yeah, but who's to argue with this? I think we're going to find out next week, but we'll see.
I'm frightened, Toto. Which is spelled TYTWE.
Okay, now we have a couple. Welsh has not been amazingly productive in terms of English. The English basically, well, before the English, they were sort of conquered and they were kept sort of down. Welsh is now becoming more popular in Wales, and people are now learning it again, and it's becoming...
Margaret's family, her part of her family, her brother-in-law, and married a Welsh woman. They all the kids speak Welsh. It's like they're Welsh.
Yeah, it's really cool because they were saying now half of Welsh speakers consider themselves fluent, which is really kind of cool. I'm sure you've heard this as a common statement all around the world, but two Welsh people are talking on a train and some person goes, "Why can't you speak in English? What's wrong with you foreigners?" And this is in England. They were speaking Welsh, and they said, "Well, we've been here for 4,000 years, so shut up."
Where'd you come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Out of my face, lady.
Yeah. But I've heard that with
Welsh.
Navajo. I've heard that in Navajo too, with some Navajo people on a train or a plane in America too. Anyway, we have some Welsh loan words. Fletcher, Kath, do you want to start with the first one?
Like my last name, as a matter of fact.
Fletcher. We should have put that in.
No, my last name.
Oh.
Howell, Kathy. Unless his name is Fletcher Fletcher.
Apparently.
Hey, Fletcher Fletcher, how are you?
Although that would be like flute or flam, sort of, but not quite. The first word is one that Ross and I both love because of Narnia, which I've recently been talking about, is coracle. Do you know what coracle means, Fletcher? A coracle.
No. How do you spell that?
Coracle.
No, I don't know what a coracle is. Interesting.
In Narnia, it's like Reepicheep, the mouse, sails in a coracle to the end of the world.
Okay.
So it's a boat covered with skins. It's made of wicker, like one of those light frames, and it's covered with skins. Yeah. And it's used mainly on the coast of Wales and part of Ireland. But the original spelling from the Welsh is nothing like Coracle. It was Corwgl, which is
cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Fletcher, I want to throw in this new word here. Do you know how to spell your name in Welsh? Your last name, wow. Kathy, not Fletcher.
Thank you.
Well, so I'd always heard it was actually like a truncation of App Howell.
You got it.
Yeah. I still don't know how. Let's see. How would you spell that? I mean, I don't know how the app would be other than AP.
It is. I mean, son of.
Howell. I mean, maybe like HWL.
Close. It's HYWEL.
Oh, Howell. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And it's the son of Howell. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Means eminent or distinguished.
Yes.
Yes.
Which we always thought. Yes.
Yes.
I always liked app something. I always thought that looked cool.
I know.
I mean, again, for me, it's the Prydain book, so that's where I got it all from. But I always liked that. Okay, Ross.
Okay, the next one is possibly dubious here. The word is crumpet, which is a griddle-cooked biscuit or cake, which we know.
Yeah.
And they're saying it could be Welsh, but then some other people are saying it maybe it isn't. It could be from Hebrew, rakik, or whatever. Yeah. So let's just sort of move on here, which is to another word, which I like. Gap?
The word is gull, Gull, as in a shorebird. Can you figure out what might be the Welsh spelling of that, which is why they think that we got it from gull?
Gull. I mean that's just based on the letters and what we've done here. That seems like it would be like GYL, but
GYWL. Very close. Yeah.
GYWL. See, the Y's and the W's next to each other, that confuses me a little bit sometimes. Just like without seeing it, it's hard for me to know when there would be a Y and a W next to each other, just based on the sound.
Yeah, so
it throws me.
Yeah, it's GYWLAN would be the Welsh, which is interesting.
Okay.
Guys, we're getting low here. We're way on. Let's finish with penguin. This is my favorite.
Penguin.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Can you guess the etymology here? This was interesting because my wife, she instantly knew the pen part, which I didn't know, but she said because of Pendragon, she knew what pen meant.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Which, do you know?
No, I don't know what the pen means in Pendragon or in Penguin.
Okay, I didn't either. It means head.
I was miming it.
Did you know it, Kath? You knew it.
Yeah, I did. Well, again, because I read all these mythology-based stuff as a kid. So, yeah. But I never thought of penguin being pen and Gwyn.
Yeah,
No,
Gwyn.
I didn't either.
Head of a Gwyn. What's a Gwyn?
Gwyn is white.
Oh, white head. Huh.
Yeah. Like Guinevere is like, white lady, I guess.
I didn't know that either until you just said it. That's so
Hey.
interesting.
Cool.
But I gotta go on, Ross. I have
go on, Kat.
something
Go on.
stupid. I have a stupid thing to say. How do you pronounce? I say penguin, and I know that's wrong. It's penguin, right?
Oh, penguin.
Yeah.
I say more like an ing sound. Penguin.
I say penguin too. I think I say like penguin. Yeah.
Yeah,
penguin.
I don't say like penguin. That's all, because it technically would be penguin.
Yeah. In Welsh,
never
if you're
said-
in Wales, but we're not in Wales. We're here and we're happy with that. The one thing that got me was apparently, means white head, but penguins don't have white heads, which is a problem. So they finally figured it out. They're thinking it applied to the great auk, which is now extinct, but that had white spots in front of its eyes, even though the head was black.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go.
There's this other etymology. Did you see this, Ross?
I did.
Possibly it came from the Latin pinguis, which means fat.
I know. I did that too.
Okay.
And they're saying it was like a fat goose, which is very possible.
I like penguin.
I do too. I like that better.
Penguin.
You're Saying It Wrong is part of the NPR network and is produced in the studios of KMUW in Wichita, Kansas by me, Fletcher Powell. Kathy Petrus records from her home in Armia, Spain, Ross Petrus from his home in Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Torrin Anderson composed our theme music, and our digital team is Beth Golay and Carly Cooper. You can find all of our past episodes by subscribing to the You're Saying It Wrong podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or by visiting us at kmuw.org. If you have a question for Kathy and Ross, if you'd like to suggest a topic, or you just want to reach out, you can email me at powell@kmuw.org or email them at kandrpetrus@gmail.com. You can also email us a voice memo of you asking it your question. You might get your voice heard on air. If you'd like to do the same thing by downloading the KMUW app, you can do that and just click the Talk to Us button. You can find all of Kathy and Ross's books pretty much anywhere you get books, and a handful of them are also available on audiobook, read by the authors themselves. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.